Welcome, everyone, to AI powered marketing for financial advisors, unlocking your practice's potential. Today, we're going to be talking about the AI advantage, why financial advisors need AI in their marketing now. And I am joined by Sean Bailey, the Horses Mouse editor in chief, and the creator of a couple of AI programs for financial advisors, including the upcoming AI Marketing for Advisors 5-week program, which is starting coming right up here on January 9th. So, Sean, thank you for being here this
Yeah,
morning.
of course, Doug. Always
Maybe we could
great.
begin talking a little bit about what inspired you to create this AI marketing program for
Yeah.
advisors specifically.
Well, Doug, I've been in this business since 1999, so pushing 20, coming up on my 25th year, and 25 years of coming into the office, so to speak, um, and thinking every day, what is it that we can do? This is a horse's mouth mission. How can we help you succeed by helping you succeed with your clients? Really, is kind of our overarching mission. Um, and over the last 24 years, the one particular item that bedevils advisors is marketing. I've seen people succeed once they're able to conquer marketing, so to speak, or able to absorb it into their workflows of their firms and do it effectively, but it's only a small percentage of people who do that. um, there have been a lot of industry studies over the last 10 years or so that just show increasingly advisors don't have a written marketing strategy. They go into the year more or less kind of flying by the seat of their pants. They might have done some marketing in the past. They would like to do marketing, but they're torn with, the pulls of client service, right? And so uh, many advisors, are these studies that I was referring to that show, over and over again, advisors do not have a written marketing strategy. It's up to 80% now. But here's the thing. When you analyze the 20% that have a written marketing strategy versus those who don't, and then you measure those two groups under the question, have you achieved, are you achieving your goals? Did you achieve your goals last year? Do you expect to achieve your goals this year? The advisors who have a thought out marketing strategy that they execute again, 75% of them say they reach their goals. The ones who don't have a written marketing strategy that they can execute again, 43% say they reach their goals. So that's that's a big difference. So I've seen advisors, uh, hindered by the fact that marketing can seem daunting. Having a marketing strategy can seem like, oh my gosh, that's yet another thing I need to do. And so uh, the big challenge, of course, is that advisors are overwhelmed with too many hats to wear, not enough time to do all the things that are needed. Now along comes generative AI, only 2 years old. This is a technology that is exploding into all areas of life. It's really, I think, in many ways, much bigger than the advent of the internet, which really kicked off its utility with the introduction of the Netscape browser in, I think it was 1994, 1995. Suddenly, people could see and experience and click on things in an easy way and put up web pages, and it was pretty dramatic thing. Now along comes generative AI. It's only 2 years old, in essence. The technology for it was discovered in 2017, but it is taking off in a huge way, and it gives advisors, when you learn how to do it, and it's not, you don't learn it instantly, but it doesn't take too much to get good at it. When you are able to effectively use these generative AI, when I say generative AI, I'm referring to like ChatGPT is probably the most common one that people are aware of. When you use these tools, you're saving huge amounts of time, right? So marketing tasks that advisors wouldn't do or couldn't do or would do badly or incompletely um, can now be accomplished, in only 20% of the time that it used to take in the past, which means that people can get stuff done when they couldn't get stuff done before. And so suddenly, advisors whose um, growth or lack of growth or growth of their business that's driven exclusively by how well the market is doing and not by bringing in new assets, suddenly advisors now have the potential to actually be able to do good marketing, marketing that works, and not be overwhelmed by it. They can actually get it done. And that's what's got me so excited about these generative AI technologies, and why I feel it's actually incumbent upon us here at Horse's Mouth to lead the way and develop as many on ramps as we possibly can for financial advisors to cross over into understanding how they can successfully utilize this new technology. And so, that's what we're here to talk about today. That's what our AI marketing for advisors program is all about. And we'll talk more about that, I guess, in a few minutes.
Yeah. And why now specifically at this point in time is it such a good time to
Yeah.
start working with these tools and implementing them into your?
Well, I mean, the industry is at an interesting inflection point over the next couple of years, right? Everybody has been, since 2008, everybody has been, feasting on the baby boomer generation that in 2008 turned 62. And here we are 10, 15, 20 years later, would put us at 28. So we're like 16 years later or something like that. Most of the baby boom is now in this, this sweet spot. Some people refer to it as peak 65, which is happening right now. More people turning 65 than ever before. But we're at the top of the boomer thing. And it's going to go down like this to where the Gen Xers are. Okay. And that means in a few more years, the total size of the retiree market is I didn't get a chance to do the numbers, but I will later on, but it's going to be reduced. And so while there may be many advisors who are exiting the business right along with their clients, there are still plenty of Gen X advisors and millennial advisors who are planning on being in the business for the long term. And there is going to be more competition. There'll be more competition and fewer clients. And so that is actually a perfect recipe for bringing perfect opportunity for bringing generative AI into your practice, because it's going to be able to give you massive efficiencies at a point in time when the marketplace is going to be more competitive than ever before. So that's one reason it's important, right? The other thing is we're only 2 years into this thing. We're still, this thing meaning the generative AI explosion here. There's still opportunity for first mover advantages and early adopters. And again, we know, that the kind of advisors who are attracted to Horse's Mouth's programs are the ones who are trying to better themselves, trying to grow their business, have an entrepreneurial mindset, and this tool and those attributes that I just mentioned with this tool, really amazing. I was looking at something the other day, and this guy had written this little formula, and the formula was basically one person plus AI equals 5 people without AI. Okay. And I think that's basically really true. And so the reason we have our AI marketing for advisors program that kicks off January 9th is because we think that advisors can use this to finally effectively be marketing in a way that is effective and in ways they've never done before. And we're already seeing that happening. Earlier in the summer, we trained more than 100 advisors over 3 programs in our AI-powered financial advisor, which is basically like introduction to AI. Now we've gone on and created this AI marketing program, and we're in the middle of building it out, and it's really fascinating, and it's going to be hugely effective for people. And so, that's why we're out here talking about it. It's a great opportunity, start of the new year. People always want to renew their efforts to do better. And so I think this will be a great opportunity for those who can see that that this is an opportunity they want to pursue.
So you mentioned earlier some of the obstacles advisors have traditionally faced in getting that marketing plan done and executed. Did you want to talk a little bit more about some
Sure.
other, marketing challenges
Yeah,
that
yeah,
AI tools can help
right.
advisors
Well,
overcome?
I mean, one of the, at anybody who has, has a sense of how these generative AI tools like ChatGPT work, have experienced its ability to write. Okay. In the last 2 years, it's gone from just writing to so many other things that I'm not even going to get into right now, because writing is still very important. And, the truth is that in the world in general and in the world of financial advisors, there aren't that many good writers. People are better editors than they're writers. Sometimes they have a harder time translating their thoughts, onto paper, and as a consequence, a lot of the idea of doing marketing for people who are only average writers or who just don't like it, they know they need to do it. It's been daunting and it's taxing, exhausting. And what's amazing with ChatGPT is you can now learn how to engage the tool, and it can get you down the path. It can get you drafts of stuff that you would have toiled over for hours, and you would be exhausted by the time you were done, even though you'd have made decent progress. Now it can get that progress done in minutes, and you're not totally done. It's a draft. It's always a draft. I emphasize that. The advisor who uses ChatGPT or any other large language model, you're always responsible for what you're releasing out into the world. And so we're never saying just type in this, hit that, cut and paste, and you're done. It's not quite that easy, but it's pretty darn close. And so, yeah, so that has been a big hurdle for many advisors. So now that is eliminated, in essence, eliminated, and people are able to get to the finish line on marketing tasks and feel good about it and see that it is a good quality, quality marketing content. And so, that's really exciting, because that means that advisors don't have to depend purely on on organic growth of their assets under management. They can also be bringing new assets into the business through effective marketing. And there are so many things in marketing that are now more easily accomplished with the assistance of these generative AI tools.
Yeah, and marketing, it's so important to be consistent. And the
That's
use of
the thing.
these tools just helps you with
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much
So
there.
thanks for bringing that up too, because
Yeah.
that is the other thing with advisor marketing, is that because it's been so difficult, when advisors do commit to getting it done and getting it out the door, and it has an impact in terms of leads and appointments with new people. Advisors are happy when that happens, but then they get caught up with doing the client service and the marketing stops. And so there's this constant feast and famine experience that that advisors go through that isn't good. It will be much better to have a consistent marketing plan that each month you can deliver some key marketing activities that are part of your written marketing strategy that work, and you do it month in and month out. And uh, and that sounds great, of course, but many advisors are solo advisors or have very small offices, and so that hasn't happened. But now these AI tools give you the ability to be consistent with your marketing, because it's eliminated so many of the other hurdles. And so that will be a huge benefit for those advisors who bring AI on board into their practice.
Speaking of those advisors, do you have any real examples of an advisor who's using AI in their marketing?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good example. There's an advisor named Terry Burke who was in so we had three AI powered financial advisor training programs this last summer. I think Terry was in our third one. Um, and he's got a partner. They run small investment shop. As Terry says, feels like he's much more an editor than he is a writer. Has always had good intentions to wanting to be able to consistently communicate both with his clients and with his prospects. Had a blog, but it had a newsletter, but the consistency issue was there. It's definitely a problem. Um, Terry, after going through our program, realized, oh my gosh, here I am. I'm putting on some webinars for my clients. And some come, clients and prospects. Some people come, many don't, but still, it's a good thing to do in general. Being a financial educator to your clients and prospects is a great way to go. But anyway, Terry realized, oh, I could just take 2 or 3 slides from this particular presentation, take the content from those slides, and use them as part of a prompt with ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT to collaborate with him to create some blog posts or some short articles for his newsletter about the content that he was delivering in the webinar. And in the past, he said that would never, ever happen. He would put on the webinar, but he would never be able to convert it into, take the information in general and write up a blog post. But now, with the assistance of AI, he's out there 2 or 3 blog posts a week. He's basically being very smart about leveraging his existing, content marketing assets, right? So if you're putting on a webinar, for instance, you have a recording of your presentation, you've got the slides that go with it. So you've got transcripts and you've got slides, and you have a recording. And in many of our programs, we talk about taking a content asset like that, and you could use the video from the putting on the event. You can run that through an AI model that will chop it up into some reusable short clips, minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever the case may be. So you get social media videos there. You've got a transcript. You can take and utilize any of a variety of AI tools and extract articles and blog posts from that transcript. Extract it, meaning using it as part of the prompt to generate yet again something new, but that is informed by all that information. And then Terry was just simply noting he just cut and paste, 3 slides and the text in 3 slides, and get himself a short, but short, punchy, useful blog post. And so, this is an example here then of somebody who just would never be doing that kind of marketing. But now he's learned how to use ChatGPT effectively, and there he is. He's marketing, and he says he's getting good responses from it. So that would be one good example for sure.
Or you used to have to pay like an agency to repurpose your content for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I
time
mean,
or money.
that is all. That's the other aspect of it. The writing. Many advisors have paid writers to do this, or had somebody on staff to do it, who's probably doing 4 or 5 other things as well. And so, yeah, there is a big. There's not just the time savings. And being able to apply a dollar value to that, I think, is legitimate. But there's actual real savings as well when you're utilizing these AI tools, and you're, creating, marketing assets that you would have previously paid, a few $1,000 for sure. And so there's that aspect of it as well. And there's the return on on people's investment, that you're now getting out marketing on a consistent basis. And we know that when you put stuff out into the universe, that is your marketing content, and it's framed up in a manner that aligns with your goals and the pain points and needs of your target audience. You do that on a regular basis, it triggers stuff that comes back to you. And so now advisors who are doing this kind of content marketing with the help of AI, when they previously hadn't been, are going to be experiencing, more inbound interest for sure. And that's what if you're looking to grow your business, where you want those, you want to meet those new prospects who hopefully will become clients.
So, what about the strategic planning aspect of this? Do you have any stories, or talk a little bit about how AI can help out or
Yeah,
enhance that
yeah.
end of things?
Well, once Ethan Mollick, I'm a big fan of Ethan Mollick. He's a professor at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. He's a professor of innovation. He's written a book called Co-Intelligence, one that I am constantly recommending to everybody. Um, and Mollick says, there's two things that he points out. One is that many people tried ChatGPT or some of the Claude or Gemini or whatever, and were kind of underwhelmed. And as a consequence of being underwhelmed, really kind of dismissed it as a problem. I mean, just dismissed it as a possibility for them to consider. Um, and Malik points out that the reason that's happening is because people went to these to ChatGPT mostly and treated it like a search engine. Okay, and people when it's not a trade secret that the typical search query at Google is 2 to 3 words. Okay. And so if you treat your ChatGPT like a search engine and you just enter 2 or 3 words, you're going to be underwhelmed. And so, Malik has always makes that point. And then he says, you people need to learn how to properly communicate with these models. And he says it takes about 8 to 10 hours of, working on it around trying to achieve things that are relevant to your business, that have relevance to what your task or your to-do list for today. And that once you go through that initial exposure and you have a framework for understanding, okay, so it's not 2-word search terms. Well, what is it? Well, it's this thing called prompting, and there's, it's not complex, but there's some things you need to learn about how to do it, and we teach that in all our courses. We teach introductory and advanced approaches to this. And when people learn how to do that, they're able to they're able to start to leverage the true, really deep strategic power. I mean, this is the thing about AI. It's referred to as a general purpose technology. That's not the GPT that is in ChatGPT. That's a general pre-trained transformer. But technologists step back and look at the broader sweep of history, and they identify general purpose technologies like fire, electricity, steam engine, the internet, television, right? Television, radio. All these things were invented, and then there were a huge variety of applications for them. Okay, and so that's what we have here now with these generative AI models. They are a general purpose technology, and there's so many different ways to use it. But people need to have some guidance about the use cases. And so getting back to your question about strategic. So my point is that the manner in which these generative AI models work, they can do very basic rote kind of non-strategic things for you and save you lots of time. But you can think of it like a pyramid, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so down at the bottom, the Maslow's hierarchy, these are like, food, water, shelter, right? And for AI, it's like, rote stuff that people have to do over and over again. So you can apply AI down there, and that rote stuff that needs to be repeated over and over again can become vastly expedited, even automated, and save people a ton of time, right? But that's at the lower end of the pyramid. The middle portion of the pyramid is kind of be like where you would writing content, right? Where you're engaging the AI model to get it to do a very specific thing that you want done. And so marketing, content, marketing, writing would be in that kind of middle tier there, right? But all the way up at the top is the strategic aspect. And this is a portion of generative AI that is still not widely appreciated yet, because people are actually sort of fascinated and intrigued by what's going on at the lower end. But you can engage these models as thinking partners, as a co-intelligence is the phrase that Ethan Mollick uses, on deeper strategic issues. And so for the advisors who've come through our training programs, we're now discovering that, yeah, they are turning to the AI models in advance of a complicated a client meeting, upcoming client meetings, got some tricky issues. Let's spend 10 minutes before the day before the meeting. Let's spend 10, 15 minutes with the AI model, give the model some context about the situation that's about to transpire with a client who's coming in the next day, and have a brainstorming, deep thinking kind of experience around the topics and challenges that the client is facing. And what advisors are discovering is like, holy cow, the AI models are helping me with new insights about my clients' challenges and my ability to bring value and advice to helping them solve their problems. And so there are, increasingly stories I'm hearing from advisors where, in fact, they're using the model at the top level as well, up there at the strategic level, and they're able to have some really ultimately have some very effective client engagements that are partly fueled by insights that they have gained in their interactions with the AI model.
And one example too is, asking it for critiques of things you've done as well. That's a
Yes,
higher
that's a good one. No, I'm glad you
too.
brought that up.
Yeah.
That's another aspect that's just most people know nothing about at all, really. But for our audience that's listening, any piece of marketing content, for instance, that you could create on your own, or you've used in the past, or that you want to improve, including the content of your own website, you can copy and paste that stuff and put it into ChatGPT, and you can ask for an expert critique of your website, or an expert critique of your annual letter that you're about to send to over the holidays to your clients, or a proposal that you're bringing to a local business where you're pitching for their 401k business, or whatever the case may be. You invoke various expertise that would be the best expertise to critique whatever type of information or challenge that you're working on. You bring the AI model in there, and suddenly you've got an expert coach who is telling you, looking at what you've done so far and telling you what works and what doesn't work, and making suggestions on how to make it better. It's like having an editor, a full-time editor right there, at your elbow. Not just an editor too. I mean, it can be any type. You can invoke any type of expertise in your prompts that will then inform your encounter with the AI model as you're trying to achieve whatever particular task is that you've brought to it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so for those watching who like what they hear but might be a little overwhelmed with how to get started, what's one way for them to start dipping their toes in the water here?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say that the one thing for them to do is to start using the models, right? If you don't have ChatGPT or Claude from Anthropic on your computers, you definitely need to step over there and make that happen. And you need to understand, that when you engage these models, you're not entering a 2 or 3 word search term like I was mentioning before. In our programs, our introductory program and our promotional free webinar that we put out quite a lot, I teach in that webinar the most basic way to get going, which is something called role task format, right? Role, you've heard me here about invoking these roles, invoking these expertise. So you tell the AI, act as a marketing expert who has worked with financial advisors for 20 years and is skilled at creating effective landing pages for, a white papers or lead gen magnets or something like that. And then you go on and give it the task. So, invoking the role, being specific about the task, asking for how you want it back, what type of format do you want it back in. That's kind of a simple, easy thing to do, to know and realize, oh, okay, it's not just me treating it like a search engine. You really want to understand how to prompt the AI models to open to use an AI word that they love to put into many things. To unlock the power of AI, you need to understand how to prompt it, which isn't difficult, but you do need some direction on how to do it.
Yeah, and for those who are curious about using AI for their marketing, in particular, I did want to share the link for a webinar that Sean has done called the AI powered marketing habit for financial advisors, which you can watch now at horsesmouth.com/AI habit. There's that to check out to learn a lot more on this topic. And then, of course, there is the upcoming program itself for those who are really ready to get serious. And that, of course, it starts January 9th, AI Marketing for Financial Advisors program, 5-week program. You can go to horsesmouth.com/AI marketing for the agenda and all the details there. And I think we do have an early bird deadline that expires
Yeah,
next
right.
week, right?
Yeah, right. The 24th. Yeah, save
24th.
$200. You'll save yourself $200 if you sign up by Christmas Eve. So
Yeah,
you'll
great.
want to do that for sure.
Great. So, Sean, any final words here before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so, Doug. I think we kind of covered it for now. But this world is really taking off, and don't listen. My final word is like, there are some people in the financial advisory industry who have been very skeptical about AI, and I have been in this business for 20 years. And let me tell you, the people who are telling you that it's not ready for advisors, you're not going to be able to get much about it, they don't know what they're talking about. They're totally wrong. I want people to keep that in mind. Stuff is happening now. Advisors are making great strides, great gains by learning these generative AI tools and techniques. And so don't delay. Don't delay. It's a great opportunity. So get in on it. That's what I would say.
Great. We'll leave it at